All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So I am going to be doing an AI sector review. It feels like forever since I've done this, but we're going to look at Palantir, SoundHound, and AI. If I've got time, I'll throw NVIDIA on here as well, all right? But oof, man, there's a lot going on. Obviously, Palantir dropped some earnings. You're hearing stuff about profitability. There are some amazing headlines, all right? I think what's also driving a lot of this is the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ has now recovered, all right? Is it going to hold is going to be the next question. But look, the earnings on Palantir, like if this happened a couple weeks ago, it would have been interesting. On a downward NASDAQ and good earnings, bad things could still have happened. So Palantir, good earnings, but more than anything, good timing on the earnings, all right? I think from there, we're seeing a lot of follow through from the rest. So SoundHound, AI are looking really good. Honestly, I'm not actually sure what NVIDIA looks like, but yeah, a lot to talk about on those three for sure. But before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to the channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, but for real, everything you do is so much appreciated, all right? And then really quickly, I am a little on the busy side, so we are in live trading hours. It's still 2 something East Coast. Again, I'm West Coast, so you're gonna see the 11 o'clock. More than anything, numbers are gonna move, things are gonna move, right? But so far, so good to say the least. And again, this was almost a night and day move, right? Because we had basically lost 4 lines. We only had 5. There was a lot of reason to believe this thing was going to start to come down to the 5th one, right? That's kind of how it works. You break all 5. Once you start losing them, you expect to go down, right? And we lose the 8, we lose the 20, we basically lose the 50 and the 100. I mean, not even basically, we literally lose it on a single day, right? And started marching our way. But yeah, today, big earnings. But again, I really do think a lot of the focus needs to be on NASDAQ, all right? NASDAQ has now come all the way down to the 200 moving average line, all right? However, it did not lose it. And yeah, it loses it for a little bit, but you always hear me say it's got to confirm, and it never confirmed down, right? Instead, it now starts to move its way on up, and really there's a lot of reason to believe we're at least going to come to here. Okay, we've struggled a bit with that 50 line, all right? Maybe we break that, we come to here. Either way, it kind of still seems like we've got a couple decent days left, right? So as long as NASDAQ's looking good, oh man, and again, let me just, before I go back to Palantir, I do believe if Palantir had dropped good news any of the last, basically 3 weeks, I don't think it would have gapped up as hard or strong and seen the follow through with the rest of them. I really believe a bad NASDAQ and good news is not like Microsoft is a really easy example of that. Microsoft had great news, but really didn't follow through as much as I expected it to, as opposed to Palantir here, which drops good news on the NASDAQ recovery and then just monster, not even touching any of these 3-4 lines, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So lots of reason to believe. Again, we're going to go back to this 8. I remember talking about the person that asked actually for this video. I remember talking about going from down here to 16 all the way to 18, right? And we're basically looking to continue, right? Because look, green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, green. Like this is a very fast channel, and we see it right there. All we got to do is break that 19 number, and man, there's the next number up is 22, right? So again, what's going to happen, I think, is very much based on NASDAQ, and even good earnings will quickly be forgotten if NASDAQ fails, all right? And when I say NASDAQ fails, one more time, what am I talking about? I'm basically talking about escaping all the way to let's just round to 13.7. If it can get to 13.7, tech will hold. If it fails the 13.7 break, everyone will forget these good Palantir earnings and we'll find our way back into the like 16-ish, 17-ish range. All right, just my opinions at least. But beautiful earnings. We should see a couple more days for sure. MACD looks like it's going to slip to the positive. Again, we wasn't that long ago that RSI was all the way up to basically 80 right there. Looks like it got even higher. Yeah, 81. Like there's a lot of room between 50 and 80, right? So good volume today. I imagine it'll hold actually. Like I don't see it dropping for silly reasons. Today was a good day. Today was a real good day. Where are we on the weekly? Ooh, are we back over everything on the weekly? We are. Lovely. Lovely. Again, there's only 4 lines right now. You can see the 100 week started right here. We do not have a 200 week line yet because it's actually not, it's a relatively old stock. I remember Palantir for sure, but yeah, it wasn't too long ago. It was less than 200 weeks ago. That's at least for sure, right? So Palantir looking good. Hey, I apologize for the noise in the background if it is too loud, but let me move into SOUNDHOUND, all right? SOUNDHOUND, been so much pain here, all right? So much pain here. For a long time, I was saying this thing is not really looking interesting. I'll be real honest with you. I can see myself entering this thing tomorrow. I think if we can get into that $1.76, $1.76, you're going to see me set that alert right here. I think there's a lot of reason to believe it'll add that quarter and take us to the $2 range, maybe even having a shot at breaking that and coming up all the way to 250 actually. So I'm not sure if SOUNDHOUND had any earnings today. Actually, that's not one that I flashed. Again, this was a viewer request that I'm trying to sneak in. But yeah, I'm assuming that this is Palantir follow through. I'm assuming that, like I said, the NASDAQ recovery, let me just show it just in case anyone fast forwarded. But right here, NASDAQ's been doing well. That's good for tech. All right. I think NASDAQ actually has a shot at coming here. If we can get over that, oh man, NASDAQ will keep holding. If we fail this and start coming back down, I think, again, we're going to see a little bit of a reaction to tech. But for now, I think there's good reason to believe 2. I think there's a decent reason to believe that 2 will break and will come all the way to 250. Do I think we'll break 250? Not immediately. I need a little bit more from NASDAQ and then I'll say that. But yeah, I'm at least comfortable saying I think there's a really decent shot at getting here, right? I like this seems like it's going to go back to a positive MACD. That's a really nice RSI, and hey, I think volume will follow through today. Like I said, I think it's more about a Palantir reaction, but again, as confidence comes back, I think this will see a little bit of love from that. So where are we on the weekly? Oof, weekly still needs a little bit of help. I think getting to 185 is very realistic. Again, I think breaking 240 is going to be very difficult since there's 2 here, and that kind of goes back to my thoughts on this, right? I think maybe we'll wick something like this up here, but yeah, I don't think we're breaking just yet. But again, I think ride the NASDAQ momentum, ride the Palantir momentum, and SOUNDHOUND should do well, all right? Let's come into AI really quickly, and oof, this is nice. Ooh, yeah, nice. Okay, cool. So what am I looking for basically at this point is a break of that 200, right? Get into 28. I'm going to go ahead and set, yeah, I like that. A couple cents under 28. Get into 28. And I think there's a really good reason to believe we'll come up to 32. That's a little bit more than 10% for sure right there, actually. So that's pretty nice right there. Is that that's almost 20% actually, because you're close to 6, not quite, right? But oof, man, interesting. I don't know if there was actually news on this one. Again, Palantir is second, right? So no, Palantir is third, right? So it goes NASDAQ, NVIDIA, Palantir, then AI, then SOUNDHOUND. So it actually makes sense to me that AI is going to do better than SOUNDHOUND just based on my rankings, right? But again, ride it until it's there. If you see the fail, that's where you kind of have to start getting worried, right? But where's the weekly at? Ooh, yeah. Weekly is definitely signaling at least 31. Maybe, like I said, I think a peak to 33 is a little decent here. But hey, a little bit rushed. Sorry about that. But let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, as always, thank you.